Well, good evening. So we're going to do a warm-up exercise to get us all ready for the Into the Mystic 8-Day Challenge. Now, if you're new here, welcome. Like what you're going to see in the guides is that we have, as a group, been doing these fabulous 8-day challenges. What are these 8-day challenges all about? Well, you understand that nothing changes in your world until you change how you see your world. Agreed? And the world that you see is made up of words. And so if you knew the words, if you listen to the words you speak, you would be able to understand while you are experiencing the life you are experiencing. Yes. So we really are in a matrix. You really are a divine being in a human body. However, you are not your body. And the Into the Mystic 8-Day Challenge is the final 8-day challenge in a 8-day challenge series, beginning with the I am feeling good, then money makes her smile, then the I am beautiful 8-day challenge, the I am home 8-day challenge, and now Into the Mystic. Because one of the things you have to understand, we can talk about spiritual gifts. And in speaking about a spiritual gift, it's only relevant and only able to reach its ultimate deployment from your light. That's what we call your light shining, when your gifts shine. If the gift has an intention of service. So what you're going to discover in this Into the Mystic 8-day challenge is you've learned how to feel good. You understood, how to dismantle trauma triangles. I'm talking about concepts in previous challenges. Okay? You've learned your special type of beauty. You understand that money is simply a tool that we can use in order to bring out the best in one another. And so now it's time for you to choose an identity. Matt Kahn says it the best. The part of your spiritual journey as a light worker, as a seeker, as someone who's always had your spirituality as a value. Mine has been diversity and oneness. The figure 8 of it all. And what you're going to understand is that the symbol of 8 I use time and time again, because my number one identity as a divine light being is I am an alchemist, a mystic, a muse. And so in this claiming this identity, there are many gifts that come from that. And what you're going to learn in this 8-day challenge is how the alchemy of you, from word to emotion to expression. But first and foremost, to get us warmed up, all right, then you're going to need to clear this throat chakra. You're going to use this private group. Okay, this is a sacred space. This private group to speak freely about mystical experiences that have happened to you. I believe you. I know you're telling me the truth. I know that you can see between the veils. I understand that most of the time your head is in heaven, but your body is on earth. And you can feel the contrast. We call that anxiety. We call that low self-confidence. We call that people aversion. We call it, I'm taking on too much energy, other people's energies. Right? That's because you are born mystical, understanding, and able to shine your light and help shift ideas on this planet. I want you to understand that what you're experiencing right now in your world, I want you to know back in my day, we had George Jetson. Okay, I'm digressing with a story. Just to show how much, how you affect the world when you can speak freely about who you are without any judgment, right? But basically, what we're seeing now with the development of the metaverse and what we're seeing now with all the talk of 3D to 5D is we are at a tipping point in consciousness. And I don't even know if it's so much a tipping point as it is for you personally. This is the time for you to begin enjoying being here on this planet. Okay? Like enjoying it. Because I know it has not been that enjoyable thus far. Your heart's been broken. You've been disillusioned. You've been stomped on, taken advantage of, picked on. You've probably been a subject of bullying. All right? You've never felt part of. You've always felt separate. And you always knew that you were following an inner guidance inside. And that you were just like bound to this inner guidance no matter what anyone else said, no matter how upset you made other people. You've been following a guidance your whole life. That's why you're a little bolder than most. And you might now feel very, very timid. But in this 8-day challenge, I think you're going to surprise yourself with how much you love and honor your mystic side. So I begin first. So what we're going to do, you're going to introduce yourself and you are going to share one of your first mystical experiences. And what I'm going to be doing is listening, because I'm here to help you identify your top 3 spiritual gifts to begin developing, like over the next 3 to 6 months, okay? You want to feel better? Then you got to release your gifts. When you start releasing your gifts, the world falls into beautiful harmony, okay? So I listen because I'm the science and soul of words girl, and I can listen for your origin story. And then you're not going to be wishy-washy anymore about who you are and what you do. Okay? You're going to be bolder than me. All right? You can do it. That's what you were born to do. So you're going to be raising your standards of your self-respect. And you're going to embrace the weirdness that is you. And then it will open up like a beautiful flower. And you will see who you really are. And your confidence will soar, guaranteed. Okay, it may not be my earliest, it's just the one I'm remembering right now, and that's how I want you to do it. And you only share one. I'm Tanya Villar, the Southern Muse. I'm a transformational coach. I'm a mystic and an alchemist. I'm here to inspire you to unlock the mystic artist within you, to become prolific, to shine. I'm here to guide you when you're afraid, to remembering who you really are. And then I'm here to cheer you on every step of your divine, gorgeous way. So this is going to be the year 2022, right? All right, so I set that up. That sounds great. Let me get to me for a minute. Okay, so I was 5, or I was in first grade, and my aunt and I were riding down Florida Boulevard, and right at one point, I do remember it, and every time I now pass this site, I get a stimulus response quiver up my spine. Okay, I can feel the energy move up my spine and then tingle out of my hands. I mean, I have these physical sensations. Anyhow, we were passing by the military graveyard in Baton Rouge, downtown Baton Rouge, or Midtown, whatever. And I turned to her right then and I said, Papa just died, and he said to tell you to call Uncle Bonnie, to go home and call the hospital and ask for Uncle Bonnie. And he says, I love you. And then I sat there and I went, oh, Papa just left. And so my Aunt Judy was startled. And what's really interesting is that my Aunt Judy has always embraced my spiritual gifts, because she was with me during this time. And so as I've grown and I've studied this my whole life, she actually is someone that'll call me to ask me, because she knows in that moment that I had crossed the veil, and that the veil between the living and people that have passed on is very thin for me. And I hear them very clearly in their own voice, and I feel them, and I can smell them. The thing about this memory, here's my origin story, y'all. The thing about this memory is that I'm usually isolated. Just one person believes me, or I scare a whole bunch of people with it. So what occurred is, when I got home, my Aunt Judy, she calls, the hospital, and sure enough, at the time that I said that, Papa had died. And so then that spread, and at the funeral, or right before the funeral, my mom and my dad took me into the bedroom, and they told me, okay, we believe your story. We believe that. Like, I didn't know it was a big deal, and then they just kind of pulled me to the side, and I was missing my papa so bad, because I just loved him. He lived with us, and I was missing him so bad, so bad. And they pulled me and they said, you can't talk about talking to your papa. Don't do it. You're scared. Don't scare anybody. So that's my memory. So when we're doing this challenge, your memory has an origin story in it. It has like one of your gifts listed in it. And I want to hear how, like, I knew it, but I couldn't speak about it. Right? And so being an oracle, being a medium, and not being felt able to speak, because me speaking scares people and gets me pulled to the side and isolated. So what is your origin story? Right? Also, be prepared to do a daily live for 8 days. Because you see, the more I hear you speak, the more I can hear what you may not be able to. Because you have your filters. You have your limiting beliefs about yourself. Not me. I see you. And I want to introduce your magnificent self to you. So please invite your friends and your family, and know that together we are making a difference. My friend Amy sent me a quote, and she says, act like what you say what you do and how you move helps other people. Because it does. Mwah. Much love, y'all. We begin officially January 8th, Saturday.